everybody? Tuesday night, another edition of 11 Live. It's a busy week at the club, I'll tell you that, because we had our first game Saturday. We have U.S. Open Cup tomorrow against Michigan Stars, and then Saturday we're back home once again against the Oakland Roots. But not only with the first team has it been a busy week, but we had 4 academy teams down in Tampa, Florida this past week to participate in the USL Academy Cup. U19 girls, U13, 15, and U19 boys. The U15 boys got to the final, went to man down when they were 2-1 down, took it to PKs and won on penalty kicks to bring a trophy back. Not only them, but the U19 boys repeated as USL Academy Cup champs, thanks in big part to an extra time goal from the man who is our guest today. Grayson Elmquist joins us on 11 Live. Grayson, what a weekend it was for you guys and you personally as well, but I know you're a huge team guy. So just that feeling of being down there with your team, lifting that trophy. I mean, what was this like, that moment?
It was a very exciting weekend. I think, like you said, all credit goes to the team. I think everybody did their job. Everybody played their part, and they did it pretty dang well to be able to lift a cup. I think our back line was outstanding. Gray Berglund in goal, not letting anything in. Our captain, Diego Sanchez, who I am filling in for today, he did a great job keeping us level-headed. He was a massive part in lifting that cup this past weekend, and I think I was just a small part of the puzzle. I just was another guy that did his job.
Your name was the one on the on the score sheet, but like you said, whole team effort. Why do you think this team worked so well this weekend?
I think it had a lot to do with our coach Kiki and how he brought us in with a different game plan. Leading up to this cup, we were struggling a little bit. I wasn't putting balls in the back of the net. We were struggling to keep them out, but we went with the system change to get more numbers behind the ball. We had a different mentality coming into this. We were here to prove something after the last cup. And I think we dug in for 4 straight games, and we were able to do what we did.
How tough is that to sort of, when you change systems kind of really very quickly, how tough is that to get used to it and get adjusted to it for something as big as this last weekend was?
It's tough. It can be tough, especially when we had a new forward coming in, Nolan Kinsella. He played an absolutely amazing tournament. He adjusted well. We all had to make our own adjustments. It's different for guys like Dennis Paz and Benji Chavaria, and they're usually wingers going forward, and they had to sit a little bit more. But they did their jobs for what we had to do, and if they didn't, it would have been a different outcome. I think they were told what their jobs were. Everybody was assigned a different part, and it was taken care of.
The big moment was obviously your goal in extra time in the final. So kind of just walk me through this. You'll get a couple looks at it.
I mean, it's tough in situations like that. It's hard to even think about what's going on, to be honest with you. It's one of those instinctive things. I mean, I knew I had a guy behind me. I had a teammate behind me as well. A ball coming in the box. I kind of just have to get a foot to it. I mean, it happened to fall to me again. When I have my chances like that, as a forward and as a striker, I have to take those chances. And I was fortunate enough to capitalize on my chances this past weekend.
Have you ever practiced anything like that?
Not anything specifically like that, but as a forward, and you got to practice some volleys here and there, but that stuff happens.
So that's just being in the moment, and it came off for you?
Yes, very much so.
Well, glad it did, because what a finish it was. Not only the game winner in that game, but the game winner in the 2 games before. You scored in the game before that. What was working so well on the front lines? Was it service? Was it your mentality? What do you think led to the success of scoring in 4 straight?
I think it has a lot to do with our mentality going forward. I think our wingers, our outside backs did a great job putting balls in the box, dangerous whipped-in balls. Us, compared to many other teams in our bracket and different brackets, we press like crazy. We press together. We don't hesitate. And that really disturbs other teams. That gave us a lot of second chances. We were great in the air this weekend. We won first and second balls. And it's the dirty work that gets us those goals that win games.
I want to take you back to the fall, back to last year. When you guys finished fourth at the similar event. It was the regular season championships,
Yep.
playoffs. There was a lot of things you couldn't control. There was teammates that were sick. The weather conditions weren't great. There was, a sending off that was debatable at best in the last game in the group stage. And it kind of just led to what I think you guys will all say was a disappointment, considering, you won the last Academy Cup and won the one before that as well. What was different this time when you went down there for you and for the team?
I think for me personally, the last cup, I underperformed. My job as a forward is to score goals, and last tournament I didn't do my job, and we fell short. I think I take a responsibility in that. And when the leading up to this cup that we had just won, I knew I had something to prove. I came with a different mentality, and I think the whole team did. We were just right there. We were right there last time. We had that sour taste in our mouth of that being that close, and we weren't going to let that happen again. It was just a completely different team coming into this last cup.
One thing that I found interesting is when you look up and down the team sheet for that final, there were some names that were left on the bench that I kind of didn't expect. I hadn't watched the games previous, but this false start that Kiki had kind of talked about, can you let us in on what he said to you guys internally about how to execute this and maybe why he did it?
For sure. I thought it was brilliant. I thought it couldn't have gone better. Kiki pulled me and Nolan, our other forward. He pulled us the night before the game, and he told us what his plan was. He said he was bringing on the young Austin Loudon and Grant Pascas to tire out the back line of Tampa, and they ran at him for 20 minutes straight. In that heat of the day at 4 o'clock, it's gonna wear on them, and they did their job. They did exactly what they were told. It brought us back to a year ago when we had to win 3-0 over Real Colorado to advance to the final. And I was one of the guys that started to tire out the back line. Then we had our main guys come in, score 2 goals, and then we were through to the final. I mean, it's you play your part and you do your job. And Kiki is great with finding ways to have us win. His game plans for big games were very, very helpful and good.
That's a cool kind of like full circle moment. That's cool to hear. You mentioned before we actually started this that in the fall, one thing that was kind of stressing you out too was the whole recruitment process. And since then, you committed to Xavier, and that was kind of off your shoulders. Yes. At this tournament. So can you kind of walk me through what the recruiting process was like for you, how you settled on Xavier, and kind of what you went through to get there?
Yeah, for sure. 100%. After having that commitment off your shoulders, you feel free to kind of just play the game. You have fun. You focus on what you need to do to get better now. And I think it definitely helps you relax and play the game. I for surely feel better playing without having to worry about that. But it was definitely a journey and a process. It was long. You have college interests from many different schools, and some are going to lead you on. Some are going to be serious with you. You got to take your visits, as I did. And I was able to go to a camp at Xavier to be able to play in front of the coaches live, meet the coaches, see campus, meet some teammates. And campus in the dead of winter at Xavier was beautiful. I mean, I've been a really big guy on convenient campuses. I feel I can learn the campus quickly. I will feel safe from getting from point A to point B. And coaching staff's phenomenal. I feel like it's a new family beginning already. It's a new home. And there's something to be said for gut feelings and decisions like that. So
I'm glad you find something that suits you, and I hope it works out well for you. One thing that a lot of people don't get to see is the off the field stuff during these trips, and they forget you guys are still kids and you like to have fun too. So, FIFA tournaments, stuff like that. What was that bonding experience like on this trip?
It's always fun. I mean, you have teammates and you have your own rooms with 3 to 4 other guys. We have pool rehabs after games, with music, with dancing, with jumping in the pool and stuff. I mean, we were fortunate enough to have a hot tub as well there at that hotel. So, I mean, the stuff behind the scenes is where culture builds. Like you said, FIFA tournaments. We had a coach come in and try out FIFA with us one time. It's fun. That's where the bonds build, is off the field for sure.
One of the things that you might not expect to find is, and one of the cooler things when I was with you guys in November is stepping into the Elmquist barbershop, or also known as the bathroom in the hotel room where you guys were at. So how did that start? You cutting your teammates' hair, and why do you like doing it?
Yeah, so when I was growing up, my dad cut my hair my whole life. I've never been to a barbershop. My dad started cutting his hair when he was in college. He didn't want to pay the money, so he taught himself. When I moved to Indy from my home in Michigan, I was just continuing to grow my hair out. It was getting too long for me, so I was like, I got to learn how to cut my own hair. So I picked up the clippers. I mean, there are definitely times I still mess up now. But I learn as I go. My dad's helped me with it too, and I've trusted myself enough, and my teammates trust me too, that they'll let me cut their hair. So get a little side hustle too. So it's all right.
That's good. It's always a vote of confidence when your teammates that are on the field with you in front of these cameras are letting you cut their hair, because
I know it.
That's big time. Well, Grayson, I'm glad you had a great weekend, man. Good luck the rest of the way. I know graduation's coming up in a couple of months here, and I don't talk to you before then. Good luck with that. We hope the best for you. Thanks for coming on today.
Thank you, Ian. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, fans, so you can keep up with the Academy, too. We have there's the USL Academy website. You can go on USL on YouTube to rewatch the game if you would like. They have the trophy ceremony on there also. So there's lots of ways that you can keep up with them. We'll be checking in with them throughout the rest of the calendar year, too. So we'll have content with them. U.S. Open Cup tomorrow, Oakland Roots Saturday. Be there at both, indy11.com/tickets. We'll see you next week.